conspiracy theory ever.
The Flick Network. We watch
It's as bad as
movies,
TikTok.
we talk movies. Your online movie friends. The Flick Network.
Welcome back to the Flick Network. My name is Dave Moore. I was going to let Jeff introduce because he's probably the only one who could really see this movie, but
Honestly.
I'm Dave. This is the Flick Network where we watch. Hold on, I got it. Hold on, I'll introduce you guys in a second, I promise. This is our 100 bucket list movies poster. It's 100
Got
bucket.
nothing scratched off yet either.
No, listen, I'll get to it. I put up 18 TikToks on the Snack Network today. Give me some slack, okay?
He's
That sounds like
working.
your own personal problem, Dave.
Oh, damn.
Somebody
Wow.
hire an editor. Of course, joining us is Shy. She's not very shy. Her name is Shy. Hi, Shy.
Hi.
Also joining us is electrical engineer by day, Jeff Daly by night. Hi, Jeff.
Hey,
Hey.
how's it going?
Oh, you know.
It's great. It's great. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we have a bucket list movie poster. This week we watched a movie. It's on this poster. It's the third one on this poster. It is regarded as one of the greatest foreign films of all time.
Is it?
I mean, it's on this poster, and everybody I talked to said, "Damn, that movie is good," and I said, "Cool." And it's completely in Portuguese, and it is called City of God.
Oh, yeah.
God.
So here's the deal. We noticed last week at the end of the show that this movie is not very accessible. Shai and I are both legally blind. So without a combination of audio description or literally the inability to read subtitles, and like, listen, I could get through a movie without AD, right? Like, I can get through
Yeah,
it.
sure. We can all do that.
Yeah, we can
That's
listen.
fine.
We can listen and pick up enough context. But without the ability to read the subtitles, this was a very challenging movie. Now,
All you have to do is learn Portuguese.
Damn. Why didn't we just learn Portuguese? Yeah, you're right.
So after,
That would have helped a lot.
yeah. So first thoughts. I'm gonna let Jeff have his first
Oh, yeah.
thoughts because Jeff watched this movie for sure, and I will explain my course of events after Jeff shares his thoughts, then Shai shares her thoughts, and then I'm gonna share my thoughts.
This is
Hi, Jeff.
not going to be your thoughts.
Okay.
Shai, let me ask, did you what did you do to prepare for this? Did you watch the movie? Did you listen to anything?
So I listened to the audiobook.
Okay.
And I don't want to become the person who just doesn't finish shit, but I could not get through this book.
We'll talk about that.
Eventually, let me clue you in. Eventually, 100 movies later, Shai will just be a cardboard poster. He'll be like, what movie? She'll watch less and less of the movie every
I don't want to be that girl, but I couldn't do it.
Okay,
I
Jeff.
couldn't do it.
So to be fair, according to Dave, it was way weird. I watched this movie.
Okay. Just watch the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I just watched the movie.
Okay.
It was a really good movie.
Okay.
It was really good at telling a story of Rocket and the City of God and little DJ or Lil Z and his feud with the other dealer,
Knockout.
Connor, right?
Knockout.
No, well,
No.
it's Knockout Ned and his partner.
Carrot.
Carrot.
Carrot. Yeah.
Yeah, Carrot. So it was Knockout Ned, Lil DJ, Carrot, and it was a really good story.
All right. So
And Benny.
here's where I'm at, guys.
Yeah?
Immediately after realizing there was no way in hell I was going to watch this movie, I've discovered the audiobook. Sent it to Shai. Said, "Hey, you should probably read this audiobook. That'd probably be good."
Yeah.
It's a 16-hour audiobook.
Yeah, I'm an audiobook person, so
Right.
that didn't scare me.
Right. That's not.
How far in the audiobook did you get, Shai?
I gotta check. Continue, Dave, while I check.
I got through the entire book. I set it to 1.5 times speed.
I did that.
Listen to I actually by the end of it I was at 1 3/4 speed. So here's the deal. I read the 16-hour audiobook, listened to it, read it. Same thing, guys.
It's the same shit.
And then because Sunday we moved our show, I watched the movie, and Rachel read the entire thing to me.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
That sounds like it took a while.
No,
that sounds like love, first of all. Claps for Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's number one.
Also, let me tell you, when it's the 4th of July weekend and there are thousands upon thousands of fireworks going on outside, it really adds to the atmosphere of a gang war going on in the city.
Oh, God.
So that's an experience. Now, okay, so let me break this down for you before we get into this too deep.
Yeah.
The book that The City of God, the movie, is based off is almost a completely different fucking story.
Yeah. No, honestly, it's like 15 different stories.
So it's like 50 different stories. And here's where the rubber meets the road, so to speak, or the guns that they call very inappropriate things meet the people who die every other 10 pages. Little Z is not a character in the book.
Nope.
Little Z is a amalgamation of I swear I'm a podcaster.
Amalgamation
Of two characters, which is Hellraiser and not in the movie.
Yeah.
And Pipsqueak, who later becomes Tiny, which is basically the same character, except Pipsqueak, Little Tiny, or Little Z before he changed his name, and I don't remember what it was before he changed his name. Little DJ. Before he changed his name, that character in the book is way more sentimental, and there's more to care about him, and his mother tried to do literally everything in her power to keep that kid out of crime, and yet he was still willing to just like shoot people up as a kid.
Yeah, man.
He was just determined to just be a gangster.
He wanted to be a thug.
He did. He did. And he did, and then he had that creepy little laugh that Little Z has and everything, but his name is Pipsqueak. And then he becomes Tiny, which is the stupidest changes of names.
He should have just stayed Pipsqueak, to be real.
But
I realized why that wasn't a thing.
And Hellraiser is the character that basically sets up everything that is like this mix of what Little Z was in the movie without all the sentimental bits before he turns into Little Z. It's weird. There's a cop who's called Boss of Us All, who I would argue is a very good character, a very deep character with like a lot going on, and dies at the hands of Hellraiser in the book, and none of that's in the movie at all.
Oh, really?
None of it.
Boss of Us All is like not in the movie at all.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
No, you don't.
Oh, damn.
So here's the crazy part. Despite thinking I was going to be the least qualified to talk about City of God, I think reading this 16-hour book with a diverse selection of other characters plus Carrot, and a bunch of them are in this movie, I never thought I'd be more prepared. Although, man,
You definitely are the most prepared.
Dave,
yeah.
you went way above what anybody ever asked of you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Listen, I didn't think I'd get through this movie. I felt the need to read this book. Now, mind you, they cut a lot out of this movie, including a baby getting cut up into pieces and being
Jesus
described
Christ.
while like
that was the first time that I almost put this goddamn book down.
I almost put it down then too. Shai was like,
I was about to be like, I was gonna call you. I was gonna be like, Dave, love you so much. This is not gonna happen for me. This is not gonna happen.
No.
That was gonna be me. Swear to God.
No.
the anal sex banana information.
Oh no, that was great. Loved that.
Oh.
That was fantastic. I loved all the sex stuff.
That was
That's
in the
fine.
movie.
It is
That
in the
was?
movie. It's
That
with
was in the
yeah, it's
movie.
with different characters in different contexts, but it is in the movie.
Oh, because honestly, that whole little mini like story about that girl and her husband, one of my favorite little bits, to be honest. I loved it. Like, it ended kind of crazy, but I loved it.
So yeah, here's the thing. I listen. This happens a lot, right, with these book movie adaptations. And I think the movie does a really good job of focusing on the correct amount of characters that they need to tell this story. But the book is so much better because what I think the real story of this movie and what I think makes it so good is that it is a bunch of stories about a bunch of characters in this place.
In the same town.
In
That's
the place.
What makes the... Mm-hmm.
In City of God. And the story is not of these characters. It is of the City of God itself.
Yeah.
And I think the movie like gets real close to like nailing.
So you're telling me you like the book more? Even you saying you like the book more?
I'm saying that I think what the entirety of this movie / book is trying to do, I think the book presents the idea better. Now, there is an insane amount of shit in the book that I wish I could have never read. And the movie never gets to the point really where I felt so uncomfortable that I felt the need to put it down.
Okay. Well, that's good.
I think Rachel was censoring a lot of the gratuitous, violent, language.
Oh yeah.
No, there wasn't a lot of violent language.
There was a lot of a word that two of us are not allowed to say.
Yeah, that word is all over this book.
Oh, it's way more, I think, in the book than it is in the movie.
First of all, I'm gonna let you continue with your train of thought, but I just need to know if this character was in the movie. There is a character named Black Carlos.
Nope,
not in the movie.
The whole time, I'm like, that's this man's name. He's Black because there must be another Carlos who's not black. So this one's Black Carlos.
You would think
that's
that.
the messed up part. There's not another Carlos.
You're right, Shy. You would think that, but there's not.
I quit. I gotta go.
They call me White Jeff. Oh, there's another Jeff? No, I'm the only Jeff.
Well, they'd call you Whitey Jeff.
Oh
no.
My God.
So I will say, I don't know what it was like in the book. Did you check how far you in the audiobook?
I think I got it says 8 hours or 6.
Okay, see, so I sent you
it's like 750 something.
All right,
Almost
so when I sent you, it's not until part 2, part 16, last 5 hours of the book till Rocket gets introduced. Okay, so here's for Jeff, mostly. Rocket gets introduced in the book as a character in the book, but his only role is that sequence where they're taking the train and deciding they can't stake up people, they can't take their money, they can't do anything because all these people that they're interrupting are too cool.
Yeah.
They can't do it. That's Rocket's only sequence, and the camera thing gets mentioned once. There's nothing about the paper. There's nothing about the pictures. There's nothing about Rocket's
There's nothing about him trying to lose his virginity.
No.
That's half the movie's shit.
Oh my
He's
God.
trying to lose his virginity.
Damn, I didn't think it would be that hard. A lot of these men in this book act like it's not that hard. You just walk up to a girl and fucking do it.
Yeah, Rocket was having a hard time.
There's a lot more in the book, Shy. There's a lot more going.
Oh God.
I will say, I think this movie, I walked into it not knowing what to expect, just hearing Dave's text from this book.
Yeah, no.
And then I walked in this movie, and from start to finish, I really enjoyed the storytelling of every character they introduced and how it all correlated in the City of God.
That being said, the movie does a better job of keeping it straight.
Yeah, because the book is fucking all over the place.
Yeah. No, it's not till later in the book do I feel like I understood who everyone was and how we were jumping between 3 different decades. Because basically in the book, Jeff, somebody would get shot, die, and then we would jump to that character who either killed them or somebody who was related to the sequence of which that led to their death. And it just kept jumping back and forth. And
So
everybody,
that's what was happening. 'Cause
And-
I didn't even understand that.
The only time that happened was when I was talking about the trio in the beginning, and then it jumped back to how little DJ killed the goose.
right. No, it basically, the movie does a really good job of explaining all the time and keeping the characters straight and reminding you, like, because you're visually seeing the sequence that led to the sequence you saw before, like,
Yeah.
it makes sense. And
That's good.
I didn't think I was going to love this movie, and it is definitely not my genre. Jeff knows this is not my genre, but
No, it's the Breaking Bad genre.
it is the Breaking Bad genre, except I like this much better.
I love Breaking Bad.
But it had Rocket, and you could root for Rocket.
Right, because Rocket didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he's not good.
Yeah.
He's not really a good
But-
guy, but he's not like, he's a victim of the world he's in.
Yeah.
Not that Rocket is a bad person. He's just
He's not. What did he do that's bad?
Well, that's what Dave's saying.
he's a
He
gangster.
didn't do anything bad.
He's still a gangster.
No, he isn't. What did he do that's gangster? He didn't even rob from anybody.
He didn't steal in it?
No.
He didn't,
No, he
pickpocket
didn't do
or-
anything wrong, Dave.
Ah,
What do you mean he's just a gangster?
Is it because he's friends with thugs?
Yeah.
Is it because he doesn't know Black Carlos?
Listen, I don't even want to know Black Carlos.
No, I will say, out of everything, I thought you would like Rocket the most.
I do.
Because he wants to follow his dreams and become a photographer. And at the end, he actually
Aw,
achieved
cute.
part of it.
Yeah.
Cute.
No. Yeah. No. I think the movie gives us somebody to root for, somebody who's more pure of heart, someone who's not a gangster at heart. Like, basically, by the end, Knockout and Pipsqueak / Little Z are in such a gang war that nobody remembers what's going on and why anybody's fighting, and it becomes this like personal vendetta because Little Z / Pipsqueak raped his girlfriend,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And like, basically
Yeah.
this war is just happening, and at some point everybody's forgotten why they're fighting, to the point where Knockout, despite maybe having a legitimate reason for revenge, has basically lost his morality. Like,
Yeah, no, he lost his morality. He fell from being like a righteous person, being there for good, to just being like any other hood.
yeah,
And he himself lost his life in the movie because he killed somebody else's father.
right. Which broke his rule that he had, which he was to not kill people, even though he
Yeah.
did, because there was an exception to every rule.
Mm.
And then the rule became the exception became the rule.
Right.
No, I will say the only character that I hated to see die the most was Benny.
Yeah.
I really liked Benny, and it was like the most heart-wrenching scene to see him die.
Yeah. They cut out Hellraiser's brother / trans gay.
Of course they did, yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
when did this movie come out?
There are references to the same sort of themes, but there is not the overwhelming amount of the amount of language they use to
Dude, the F word was just like all over. And then also like everything else. It was pretty. So this, okay. I wish I could have watched the movie. I guess I could have like bribed Joe to read the whole movie to me, but like
I don't actually think it would be as hard for him to read to you as it depends on how much description you need of what's happening.
Gotcha.
But I think
I don't really need that much. It's more of what they're saying.
I think it's a lot of like whippity 16mm film, like documentary style, that you don't always really know what's happening until like the body's lying on the ground.
Which is great. Fabulous.
How did Rachel like the movie?
Rachel, I think, liked it more than I thought she would. I don't think it's definitely not her new favorite movie. I don't expect us to ever watch it again.
Really?
But I don't think she hated it. I'm sure she'll leave a comment and
I
telling us what she thought.
I wish I got to see it. I can only give my opinion on the slightly less than half of the book that I read. Um, and usually, so let me explain why I didn't finish it, okay? So normally, when I'm reading an audiobook, it's the only thing I'm listening to, right? Like I don't listen to music, a podcast, nothing else. With this book, I was using every possible excuse to not listen to it, which is why I didn't finish it. It has nothing to do with, well, I mean, that subconsciously has to do with the content. But like, I didn't make the decision to DNF this book. Like that, it wasn't like a conscious thing. But it happened because I subconsciously was doing some escapism, I guess.
I'm the kind of person, Shy, and I probably bet you're similar to this way. If I commit to reading an audiobook, even an entire audiobook series, I can fly through that thing.
Oh yeah, like instantly. I'm gonna finish this because I don't like DNFing books and because I used an Audible credit on it. So I'm gonna finish it.
And the second half is better than the first half.
Well, that's great.
I will defend that. So I'm just
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to say, even though for me it's more of a book review than a movie review, I want to give my opinions on it regardless. So, I've read a lot of books, old books, new books. This book felt very old. And mostly because of just the way it's written. It's so like matter of fact. Like it says things like she was happy or like he was angry. And it's like, you don't have any more colorful language, but that's how they used to write.
Their colorful language is used in other terms.
There's other colorful language. Yeah, exactly. This book was very like I felt like it felt like a 1950s narration, you know? Like very like snappy, very fast, but very matter of fact. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how the book is written. The whole book is written that way.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
The whole book. So, and speeding it up probably didn't help. But
it just makes it feel more abrupt.
Yeah. But in general, I at some point started seeing it as little separate novellas within this city. And then when it happened to interlink, like, oh, that's the person that was in that one, then it was like, oh, that's cool. But I sort of started treating it like separate stories. And a few of the separate stories I really enjoyed. So I feel like that is why I had fun reading this book.
Which is why
I was actually reading it.
Which is why the second half will mean a lot to you when it basically all culminates. Like it is a bunch of novellas. Like that first half of that book truly is that, where it's just different character, different story, different plot that leads into another, and then a different separate story happens until it all culminates into what I think is the majority plot of the movie with a couple character name changes, which is strange. It is a strange comparison. When I was in that first half of that book, though, Shy, I felt the need to put it down as well.
Yeah, I definitely got that urge, especially, and there's no scene, like no way that this was written would have justified what happened with that whole baby thing, but just how terrible it was made it even worse. Like literally the man's motivation was, I think, that his wife had cheated on him or something.
So yeah, I'm going to tell you how I interpret this in a second.
Okay.
You want me to go now? You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Basically, that guy decided that his wife had cheated on him because the baby wasn't dark enough.
Yep.
And so he decided to cut the baby up while alive into little pieces and shove him into a shoebox, while we get the wonderful description of what it sounds like to have a baby chopped up alive while...
What are you talking about?
Limbs dingle. Yeah, this is in the book, Jeff. This is a real thing. You probably should read this book.
This is the Flick Network, not the Book Network.
Hey, I'll be on the Book Network. Okay.
I gotta go talk to Laura and her library cards over there.
Have Laura read this.
If I had read this way in advance, I probably would have brought her in on this because she's definitely the book qualified person. But it is that so. The way I interpreted that entire sequence is that he put that baby in pieces into that shoebox, handed it to the mom, right, and left, only for it to be clear to the audience that baby was just slightly lighter than it would be, but not that she had actually cheated.
Yeah,
that's
the
the way. So basically, this dude, because
he thought she cheated.
Yeah, they're in this life where this is the thing. He thought that she cheated, but she didn't, and it's just more horrendous because I think that's the way I read it, and maybe I'm wrong.
No, basically the story, that whole vignette or novella starts like you're in his mind frame the entire time,
right?
And he's just like talking through like how great his wife is and how much whatever the hell, but he's like then he like goes through this whole thing is like, and then she had that baby and blah blah blah, and the baby's the wrong color, and
what character was this?
It's just some guy. I don't even remember.
I don't remember his name.
I don't even think he was important. I really don't.
No, because I think the important part is the wife.
How disgusting,
and
the wife, yeah.
And the world that they're in is so disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even confirm whether his theories are correct. He's home alone with the baby, and he decides to take out his vengeance on her and this baby, because it's in his head now that it's some other man's baby.
Even though I don't think it is.
It's not. It's probably not. But the thing that made it even more disgusting is it gets into this detail where he's doing something and he's like, maybe I should stop doing this. And then he's like, actually, never mind, because the baby will suffer more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why are we talking?
Because
I don't want to talk about this baby.
Disgusting.
It's horrendous, Jeff. Listen, this movie is astounding. It is edited incredibly well. It is a gorgeous piece of cinema. It is shot in 16 millimeter. The story is cool. It shows a side of the world we don't really see here, right? Like all that can be said, and yet the most gruesome thing that Shy and I got to experience this week was this sequence in the book.
And it was so,
and it's not in the movie.
Thank God.
No, thank God.
For obvious reasons.
I was worried. I thought we would get like a reference to the shoebox, if like.
Oh God.
Literally, like we would know as the audience, but we don't like get the horrible description that we had to read. Anyway,
I'm just glad they kept it out completely.
Is Benny in the book?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The coolest guy.
I actually, at first in the beginning, I was like, wow, these cops are shitheads. And then I still thought they were shitheads, but like I was starting to have fun listening to their antics.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like, I hate them, but then like it's also like everybody here is deplorable. Like they're all a mess.
No,
so.
Yeah, no, and that's the beauty of it. Is like the cops are bad, the gangsters are bad, the hoods are bad. That like all of them are bad in their own ways.
Yeah, everyone's choosing a different way to be shitty.
Yeah.
And then it gets into there's a lot of misogyny going on.
It's a world. It's a whole world.
It's so crazy.
What I hated, what I think needed a better wrap up in the movie was what happened to Angelica after Benny died. Because it's kind of like Benny died, Angelica was crying. That's the end of Angelica.
Yeah.
We don't care anymore.
Yeah, no, that's the other thing. They leave a lot of characters like lingering and hanging open-ended, or
I don't think they left a lot of characters open-ended.
Yeah, there weren't 600 characters in the there weren't 600 characters in the movie like there are in the book.
There's so many characters in the book.
The only one they left open-ended was Angelica in the
movie.
Also, so many people dying. Like it felt like every 20 minutes there's a death.
Yeah.
of
If
like
you-
someone we were following for a second.
and I like the whole ending where like the war consumed all of Lil DJ's money, and he had nothing left, and the kids killed him.
Right.
The kids that he gave guns to killed him.
The runts.
The runts. Yeah.
Anyway,
it was a
Which
journey.
this is all based on a true story.
That's what
Wait.
it's,
That's the
that's what it
craziest
says
part.
at the end of the movie, and they
How much of it though is what I
I-
need to know.
Knockout Ned was a real person.
Okay.
okay. So knockout Ned, you'll get to Shy. And it's I would like to know the real history. I would like to know that
Yeah, me too.
because
Like how much is
The movie is
hyperbolized or
99% accurate on how things took place between the gangs.
okay,
So the gang war took
So
place.
the gang war.
Lil DJ was a real person. Knockout Ned was a real person. The gang war did happen.
Okay.
but
And it's 100% accurate on how living in the city of God was like.
boss of us all and all the kids dying because they get caught in the crossfire of all sorts of things is
which
like
is so shitty.
yeah. I'd like to know. I'd like to like read an actual historical account compared and then like with cliff notes on the side that are like this is what the movie did or this is what the book did and this is the change.
You remember in the movie, Dave, where there was like an old like a TV interview?
Yeah, that's
of,
the
like,
real
that was a real footage.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was.
So it was actually a gang war led by Manuel Machado Rocha, which is Manny Chicken, and Jose Eduardo Barreto Concierca.
Yeah, see,
Penguin, aka Lil Zay.
Nobody has their real names. No one. Not the cops, none of them. Which is what also, everybody's pork and beans. What is his name? It's not pork and beans. Steak and fries. Like.
It's great. It's honestly the nicknames were just a joy.
But at the end, you learned Rocket's real name.
Yes, only Rocket's real name, but we'll let Shy find out for herself.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Secret.
They say this is one of the most accurate movies for what it was like. It's the
That's
most
crazy.
accurate movie for life is like there.
Minus the fact that I'm sure real life was much more
Hold on.
gruesome and rough.
Someone's knocking. Hold on, guys.
Shy will leave us for a second. Jeff,
Oh wait.
Yeah.
I thought you were knocking on the window, and I got like. scared.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
they're coming for you, Shy.
Yep.
He scared me. Well, because we got locked out recently, so I thought maybe he got locked out and was knocking on the window, but he's just knocking on the door.
I really enjoyed this. I didn't expect to.
It was nominated for Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Cinematography, and Best Editing. Did not win anything, but it had a lot of
Nominations.
It was crazy how they got even the kids involved in it all. How like even kids couldn't be kids; they were all
No,
Oh,
having
yeah.
to do like
everyone was
crazy
involved.
stuff.
Everybody. Every single character in the City of God, every single person was involved, whether they wanted to be or not.
The kids were doing liquor runs and stuff,
Delivering drugs. They're all
delivering weed. Yeah.
they're all snorting coke. Everyone is snorting coke to
Yeah,
an unbelievable
There
amount.
was this made me laugh. They were like, it was New Year's, and they're like, we're celebrating. They did it for Christmas Eve and for New Year's, and they're like, some people were drinking, smoking, snorting coke, and they were like, some only snort coke on this occasion. So your little auntie, whoever, who like never touches drugs on New Year's is gonna be like, you know what? Only today.
They also give way too of an accurate description of how to like use other drugs to come down off other drugs and use other
It's
drugs
great.
to keep like
That's
a
cool.
vicious cycle of horrible drug use. Like,
So I have a fact for you.
okay.
Do you know when Knockout Ned, this Dave, in the movie where Knockout Ned kills one of Lil Zay's people for the first time after they shoot up his house and he's cheered by the place
Yeah.
as like a hero? the first woman that approached him to congratulate him or cheer him on was the real life Knockout Ned's mother.
That is wild.
What?
So the real life
What?
Knockout Ned mother was in the movie.
That's wild.
This movie's crazy. This book is crazy.
Did they
They
do?
they casted all the actors that in this movie were non-actors from the Rio slums. So they were all people from Rio de Janeiro slums.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That makes
So
a lot
the
of sense.
person who played Rocket hailed from the real city of God.
Wow,
It's
really?
insane. That's insane.
No. I'm sorry. The person who played Lil Zay, one
Still
of the main
crazy.
characters,
Still
was
insane.
from the
Still,
city of
Yeah,
God.
still.
that's crazy.
Anyway,
Goodness,
I didn't think
I
I'd
love
love.
shit like that.
I didn't think I'd like this a lot, but I did. I thought it would be rough. It was rough, but it was. It was like one of those things where you're like, I know this is hard to get through, but it was like one of those things where you're like, it's worth it. Kind of.
I think I'm genuinely enjoying the book, but in like a very interesting way. Like I don't think I have experienced a book like this where I'm so completely uncomfortable, but also like it's
Invested.
so polarizing within the same book. Does that make sense? Like
It
one
does.
moment I want to throw the book across the room, and then the next moment I'm like laughing at some stupid shit that happened.
Yeah.
Like it's two opposites of the same coin, but it's happening at the same time. And that makes it really fun. I think it's gonna stay on my library. I'll say that.
I'd say finish it. Absolutely
And-
finish
and-
it.
This whole movie was really good to portray what life is like in the slums. If nothing else, it really just brings to light what life is like over there.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
actually filmed in the Rio de Janeiro slums, although they couldn't film in the real city of God because it's too dangerous to film in.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because
Yeah.
yeah, they'd probably just take all your shit.
If even half of this story is true, it's too dangerous to go anywhere near that city.
Yep.
Well, like
Yep.
half of it were true. It would be scary enough.
Mm-mm.
So that 100 young non-acting Brazilian locals were recruited for this film.
Fun.
Shot on 16 millimeter film, which is fascinating as a filmmaker, instead of 35 millimeter film, which is standard. It makes it look more like a documentary, which is why when you booted it up, Jeff, last week, you were like, "Wow, this looks rough." That's because it's meant to look that way, and it's shot with completely different film to look more like as if these were people with
Like
the
a
cameras.
documentary.
Yeah, the cameras were there, not that they, not that a normal like a cinematographer shot the movie, but it looks like somebody there was with the cameras.
That's really cool. I don't know shit about film.
And so yeah, that's crazy.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really well done. I was apprehensive about this movie at the beginning, but
I was too.
it's crazy how accurate they wanted this film to be, and they really achieved a feeling of accuracy.
I wish they did stuff like that these days. They're starting to get there, but like for a while there, it was just like, I don't know. I think it looks like China. Whatever.
You remember where Rocket was in the journalist's apartment, Dave, and he said he never had hot water?
Yeah.
That was unscripted. That was the real life actor saying he didn't have hot water.
Wow.
That was
Wow.
unscripted.
It's crazy.
It's crazy how you never get a movie like this nowadays that it's in the U.S. that tries to be as accurate as this as possible without.
That's
it
what I'm
being a
saying.
documentary.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They don't really put in that 110% for accuracy very much anymore. I mean, they're starting to, like I said, I feel like they're getting back into that.
Yeah, no, when they do this, and because maybe it's because we're at the point where we are now, I always question how real it is.
Yeah.
And also like where are they cutting to? Where versus the book feels so uncomfortable so much of the time. Like, I don't doubt for a second that the book is more accurate,
Mm-hmm.
but I worry that the movie cuts things only for the sake of, like, sensitivity. Not to make it not any less true, just to, like, are they showing me the whole picture?
Yeah.
That-
I think they're showing me the picture I need to see, and I think it's a very gruesome picture they painted, and I don't think, like, that it's not accurate. I just think the reality is always scarier than the fiction. I think.
Yeah.
I think they. To me, I didn't read the book or I didn't see the book. They did a really good job of making it as showing how gruesome it is as possible.
Yeah, I think
Like
so
Yeah.
too.
where the three like and how ruthless and cutthroat it is.
Yeah.
To where they didn't let Lil DJ in when he was a kid to rob the brothel, and so to get revenge he pretended the police are coming, and it wasn't until a flashback later you found out that it was him who killed all those people in the brothel.
Also, opening up the movie with the chicken race, like the
Oh
hunt,
yeah, with the
which
flashback.
it is in the book too. It's and it's way later in the book, but it is a fun point to open it up. Is where they're chasing the chicken, and they're all just like, "Get the effing chicken."
And you don't have any context.
No, but it's
That's really fun.
Oh my gosh.
so I was determined last week to say that this movie should be crossed off this poster and doesn't deserve to be on here, but I think it does. I'm gonna stand by it. Dave says
Ooh.
movie belongs on this bucket list movie poster.
Ooh, interesting.
For my perspective, it's the second best foreign film I've ever watched.
I'm curious
I
what number
really
one is.
enjoyed it.
Hmm.
Parasite.
Oh yeah,
You ever
yeah.
watch
Okay.
Parasite, Dave?
No, I'm never gonna watch
That's-
Parasite. It's not on the poster.
Can't watch Parasite.
It's not on
Why?
Is there a Parasite book?
No, it's a much newer film.
No, they
I
have
believe
AD
they
for
have.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would,
But is it in English? Or dubbed, I mean?
I-
the AD would definitely read the subtitles if at the bare minimum.
If it's okay.
I feel like it would have to okay, this is the last thing I'm going to rant on.
Parasite got an English dub, so it has an English
Oh, okay,
dub.
good.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just watch it like that. That's fine.
Guys, I'm gonna go off my one criticism.
Okay.
This movie came out in 2002. It is one of the most critically acclaimed movies of all time. It's on this poster. It's important. It's realistic. It's a lot. I understand that it is a movie in a different country, and I understand that it is a film that wasn't intended for our audience, but it is highly regarded here as important. Why the hell is it not accessible? F you. They had 20 years to make this movie accessible. Fix it.
Now, you say
I'm-
they had. Do you know who have rights over this movie?
HBO has it on their streaming service, and they are very competent at making an AD and a dub.
I wonder when HBO got it. I'm curious.
But I
because if
believe they have to have the rights to the movie to make a dub of it.
Well, yeah.
A streaming platform can't just take a movie and make a dub of it.
I mean, but the streaming platform is given a certain amount of rights when it is allowed
Yeah,
to stream.
and because of
isn't
the
it?
and because of the importance of this movie, I feel like somebody at some point who had the rights to this movie should have made a dub or at least an audio description that reads the subtitles.
Yeah, although it is true that typically the people who produce the movie will produce the AD, but I wonder when they started doing AD, because 2002 is not that long ago, but I actually have no idea when they started like making that like a mandatory thing.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing is like this isn't some janky ass random movie made by some dudes in their basement. You know what I mean? Like this is a large critical acclaimed movie that's on this poster. It's important. It's talked about a lot.
Just because it's critically acclaimed doesn't have to make it a large movie.
It became one.
Yeah,
after the fact.
it became one, Jeff. Whether it was when it came out, that's different. We can have the argument of whether it needed to come out with AD and everything and a dub when it came out. That's fine. I can accept that, but it has been long enough. Whoever is holding the rights to this movie should have done this by now. and that's where I'm going to stand. It's not like a debatable thing. Like
Yeah,
should have been done.
I feel like I could agree that someone could have definitely done it by now, but I do also understand why it has probably been able to get away with being left for so long, and that's probably because it's a foreign movie, which means the AD would have had to be made completely and totally after it was already created, like, and done and finished, which means someone would have to write it after the fact, which means they'd have to pay someone to do that, and so they drag their feet on it forever until someone cares enough, I guess.
That's why I'm
But
saying it. That's why
it's a delayed thing because it's a foreign movie.
I just don't think it's acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been long enough.
Yeah.
It's definitely been 20 years, so I feel like that's a good amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand why it would get pushed back.
I understand why. I'm not saying it's okay.
I would say especially since it's a foreign movie and it's a Brazilian movie, I don't think they still have their liberties aren't to the point to where they view,
It's not even that. They just
unfortunately.
don't see it as worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they probably don't have the same laws in place to protect or to help disabled people, even though we don't have that many.
Anytime
But-
there's a problem with an accessible thing in this world of media creation, like I understand. I'm a small YouTuber, right? Like relatively really small, like 600 subscribers. Like I cannot go through and subtitle all my videos. I'm like one dude. Like I
Yeah,
can't
of
go
course.
through, and I can't do AD for all my videos, and I could not possibly do that. But this is one of those things that should have. I listen to a lot of gaming podcasts. We're at the point where people are literally, if there's humanoid characters in a video game, you can turn on accessibility so that the characters are signing. Okay? Like, and people are like, that's incredible. That's amazing. Why isn't every game accessible? And I go, guys, movies aren't accessible yet. You're asking for video games to be accessible. It's amazing that one video game publisher decided to add sign language into their game. That's incredible. Asking everyone to do it is a huge jump, and we can't even get movies that are critically acclaimed to get audio descriptions / anything but subtitles.
Yeah, it would be nice if all the studios that own movies hired a little team to like go back in their catalog and figure out which foreign films don't have AD, or like older films before they started doing AD.
Which ones don't have
And-
dubs? Which ones don't have this?
Yeah, and like go back and try to kind of figure that out. Dubs are harder, I feel like, because America doesn't really do that. Like if we were in Japan, that there's a whole industry for that.
Have you watched Squid Game with the dub? Like it is a train wreck of a disaster. Yet it works.
I mean, I guess
I'm
it works.
I'm not asking for something good here. I'm just asking for something. Like
Yeah, I feel like we gotta pick one though. AD, or are they gonna start dubbing movies? And they're not gonna start dubbing movies. AD is way easier.
I think they need
just
to
hire a writer.
they need to do both. I think they actually have to do both. I'm at the point where they need to do both.
I will say that maybe
Harry Potter came out in 2001 and had a dub in a million different languages. It was all in the DVD bonus features. I played the game. Like
Yeah,
that
they
movie
do it.
what also
That movie
what
was-
was the budget of Harry Potter?
yeah, much more money. That's my point though. This movie has had its importance for long enough that somebody should have gone back and done it. All right, that's it. I'm off my soapbox. I'm gonna let it go. Just want to
I
clear.
kicked your soapbox.
Guys, next movie. I did not check to see. If it's-
I could say yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from, Dave. I know exactly where you're coming from. But there's probably a critically acclaimed American movie where a person in like Germany or something's going, this is too critically acclaimed. Why isn't it in German?
Yeah.
and I agree with
Yeah.
them, and I'm on their side
Probably
too.
the same. Yep, me too.
like I agree, Jeff. There is no
That
reason.
is true.
If there's a single Marvel movie right now that came out and it didn't have a dub in every other language, it's unacceptable in my opinion. If it doesn't
You
have
think so?
AD in every single language, it's unacceptable.
You think every single language in the entire world?
Every
Every major language.
Every major language that they released that movie in that market.
Yeah, like every language where people are actually friggin' going to movie theaters and not worried about how to feed themselves.
If they're selling that movie for $20 on iTunes in that country, then it needs to have all these things.
Then it needs to have it.
Especially considering these movies cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make. There is no exception to not paying some intern in every country fucking $15 an hour to go make an audio description /dub. Like, anyway, guys, next movie on our bucket list movie of posters. Our poster of bucket list.
I need to know. This is gonna be the one where I'm the overachiever. My turn.
Okay. I have not checked to see where this is available. I will admit that right now.
Oh, damn it.
Which movie is this?
I think I own it because we watched it in our previous iteration of this show, Jeff, and I'm sure you have a way to watch it. The next movie is, hold on, stalling just for emphasis on excitement, Pulp Fiction.
Hey. Oh, wait, we just watched Pulp Fiction. What did we watch that on?
What if I don't
We watched it like a month ago on... It was either HBO or Netflix.
Oh, good. So now you're the overachiever because you get to watch it a second time.
Hell yeah.
And know everything because now you'll.
Although that was my first time watching.
Well, right. Well, now you'll like understand the sequence of events that goes on in that movie because I already forgot. I know it's out of order. That's all I remember. Pulp Fiction, probably available on HBO. Feels like an HBO.
I think it's HBO because he definitely just made me watch it like a month ago. I think it's HBO.
Yeah, so
that's a good one. I'm excited.
Yeah, and the next one's another foreign film, so that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. Can we just like wipe all the?
I thought about
all the foreign films, like just like.
Listen, before I had Rachel read this entire movie to me, and I read a 16-hour audiobook that I had a very hard time getting through. I was ready. I thought halfway through that first the section of the book that I was like, I'm gonna go through this poster and replace all these movies that are unwatchable.
So if they have books, I don't mind continuing to do the audiobook situation because I do have an Audible account, and if I call them, they'll let me trade the book back in if I don't like it. So I don't mind reading the books if they have books. I
don't think that all of these will.
Yeah, probably not. But if they do, I'll read them.
Pulp Fiction, guys, is next.
Yay!
Jeff, thoughts and feelings on the upcoming?
I'll watch it.
Damn. Woo! Those are emotions. Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, I can feel the excitement in that.
I will say, Dave.
Yeah.
I looked at, and every single Marvel movie only has audio description available in English. Only English.
Hold on. It has some sort of AD. It probably also has a selection of dubs in other languages.
It has dubs in other languages, but it
has dubs in English, but it only has AD in English.
Yeah, well, that's unacceptable at this point, in my opinion.
I would agree with you, but it might be that we're the only country that forces people to have AD, but I really doubt it.
We don't even enforce it.
Canada's Canada, and we barely enforce it. Canada probably makes companies make audio description, right? Yeah, I actually have no idea. I've never looked into it.
But then they would only probably demand French and English, which they would just use the same English.
They have French and then Canadian French.
Oh, they're different.
And then English.
Yeah.
They don't have Arabic.
I'm going to watch a movie this week that I've seen a million times in a completely different language. I'm going to watch something in Portuguese.
That sounds fun. I actually really like Portuguese. I think it's beautiful. I like singing bossa nova in Portuguese. It's a beautiful language.
They don't have the Marvel movies available in Russian.
Oh, well, darn.
Yeah, well, get on it. I don't know what you want me to say here. I'm.
Maybe they're recording it.
Fix it. We're also not in that market. We don't know what's available in that market.
We gotta find a bunch of Russian actors, I guess.
Right.
Well, maybe it's just banned in Russia.
Well, there also might be licensing agreements. There also
could be.
There might be licensing agreements license agreements with the actors who do those dubs in other countries to not allow those versions in these markets.
I could tell you why. I could give you at least one reason why Captain America would be banned in Russia.
Sure. What? Sure. Go for it. I want to know.
Yeah, Jeff. What's no? I'm
The
done.
Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
I'm
Anyway,
pressing this
final
button.
thoughts
Bye,
is
everybody.
I'm
That
looking
was the
forward to
Flick
watching
Network.
Pulp Fiction again. City of God.
Network. We watch movies. We talk movies. Your online movie friends. The Flick Network.
The Flick Network is a production of the Snack Network LLC.